All right, man. What's up, Darren? You know, I was about to ask you. The main question I was gonna ask you is, what does what do Dre mean to you, bro? Like, if you had to sum it up.
Like lack of courage come to mind. Like courage the cowardly dog in human form. you know.
Cut this bullshit.
Yeah, I love my childhood on the east side. It was fun. It was always a lot of kids to play with. Everybody wasn't extra judgy. Like it was a lot of poor people. It was a lot of people who had money, all that other stuff. But I just realized on the east side, that stuff didn't really matter as much as it did like on other parts of Gary. When I was going to west side schools, they was like real big on that type of stuff. But it was like, nah, if you cool on the east side, you cool. They might make fun of you a little bit, but everybody getting talked about. Everybody get the jokes. But everybody still all love. It was like, it's kind of like real family on the east side. When I was growing up, that's how we was. I think that's just something that we created to keep each other separated, because if you think about it, it's all one Gary. It's all the same thing. Like, there's parts on the east side that's nicer than parts on the west side. Like, it was projects on the west side, it was projects on the east side. It was the same thing. We just created like a difference and stuff like that, and that kind of separated us. We was growing up. Like, I used to think the west side was like just the bougiest place in the world. I just thought that they was like, I thought they was better than us. They thought they was smarter. They thought that they had more money, and it was like that. It really ain't the case, but it was just that's just people. That's how people do it. People just create differences and ways to make themselves feel a little bit better, even if we in the same messed up place. We still like trying to make ourselves and like, at least I'm better than them. So there's like a self-esteem thing. Like, I feel like the west side had more self-esteem as opposed to like the east side. It really didn't matter. Like I said, no, everybody loved each other, no matter if you was broke. None of that stuff. We took care of each other. I know a lot of grinding east side people, not just on those street stuff. Like, I know people who just like put in the work to make sure they never stayed in them positions. Like, the people who was broke and all other stuff, they grinded, went to college. I know nurses, I know people who work in the mill, I know people who went and got degrees, they mechanics, doing all kind of stuff. Like, I know some real hard working people on the east side, and like, that's just how they be. Like, I feel like that partially molded them and made them really want to get money and do all kind of stuff the way they do it now. Not necessarily, like, I know some west side people too, and I know they be getting money and they be doing stuff, but I know a lot of people who lack and who was dependent on like they parents and stuff like that. Like, I know all of like them people too, but that's everywhere you go. I think that everything pretty much got positive and negative, but I think that I think the projects, they did like stagnate growth. Like, people was just comfortable. They didn't really. Some people didn't elevate. They never wanted to get past the projects. They was just that, and they just like fed into like, oh yeah, this my place. All this other stuff so hard that they never really even tried to elevate. So, I mean, I know a lot of people it made better. Like I said, it make hustlers. It make people like who never want to be in that situation again. But some people, it was just stagnant. So it's good and bad. I think mostly though, it had a lot of people like stuck in there. Like, it was like a lot of poor people, a lot of people who couldn't afford to do things and do stuff. So I would lean towards like, yeah, they probably should have tore them down, because I feel like you can't just really box people in like that. It kind of lead them messed up. I feel like when you spread them out, like, you gonna get to see different people. You get to see different people. Your neighbor might have more money than you or something like that, and that might motivate you, as opposed to like you living in the projects, all you see is just project shit. Like, so it keep a mentality too. You want to get out that mentality at some point.
Okay, that makes sense. Thinking outside the box. Um,
Yeah, one of them did. I don't think it stopped though. Huh? I wasn't even paying attention. I'm colorblind. I don't see color.
yeah. So
um, that's just a stereotype. It's just a label. I don't really even feel like the label fit everybody. Like everybody, it's so many individuals in Gary. It's so many people who are nothing like what you think when you think of Gary. It's so many people who just are um, just different. Like you would think they grew up in California somewhere, or something like that, just because of how they mindset, how they is. So you can't label nobody just because we from Gary. Like, oh, everybody hood, everybody this. Like, I'm not super hood. Like, I didn't grow up super hood. I wasn't. I was like a nerd. Some people would say like I wanted to talk proper. I wanted to articulate myself. I wanted to be like impress people. So I don't fall for no stereotype stuff. Like you can't box people in. Like I don't just take that. Like I don't know that many people who like have witnessed like murders and no stuff like that. Like it's just a perception. Like something that came from the '90s when we was like babies. Like I don't even like it was never really like super like murders happened and stuff like that. People died, but it was never like what they made it seem like oh everybody is dying, everybody is um, just pistol toting, everybody got it on them at all times, and it could be a shootout at any moment. Those things happen, but it was like so far in between. It's like nah, I don't fall for the stereotype. I'm like a regular person. I feel like TV and stuff like influence more than like the stereotype of like, oh, I'm from Gary, so I gotta be hard. I gotta be this. Like, it ain't never worked like that. We what you say?
would you change any hardships you had in your past? Based on we can wait a second. They about to be loud as hell. Let's keep it rolling. Motherfucker picking up the kids like y'all smoke weed. Hey, damn, dude. Do we?
I just didn't want that on camera.
You right. Should I handed her Jehovah's pamphlet? Like, man, I was just about to make my rounds on the block.
Man, I did not know that she was about to have like second kids.
Yeah.
You get off the bus like that.
Damn. Get out fucking grass, little nigga.
And that ain't my grass. I don't care.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nah, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't change it. I feel like I had the best opportunities ever growing up where I was at. It was like the best of both worlds. Like I wasn't super rich or nothing like that, but I stayed in like a real family type environment. My grandma, my aunties, they stayed on the east side. I like was originally in Glen Park, and I like everybody don't consider that the east side, but you know I over on 21st. I was over on 21st every week, all the time, spending the night over there, and then I moved over there, and that just was like the best people. I feel like everybody I met over there, pretty much the experiences and stuff that shaped me to make me who I am as far as like just being out and being around genuine people who like really like didn't care about oh man he want to be smart. I used to like always try to say oh yeah I'm a super nerd, super always want to correct people how they talk, but they ain't really hold that against me. They ain't hold nothing against like my aspirations. I was in band, played the saxophone. Ain't nobody like, oh no, this nerdy dude, all this other stuff. It was like you get the experience of like the schools that you see on TV where you got your popular kids, you got your jocks, all that, but everybody intermingle. You go outside, you will see like the nerdiest dude, and he rolling with somebody who was like an athlete on the sports team. They playing together, doing all kind of stuff. Like, that's just the environment it made. It made me like just more accepting of people. That's why I probably wouldn't change it, because it's like I realize no matter what people into or how they are, it's some common ground that we can find. And I feel like growing up on the east side really like instilled that in me.
Real shit. Quick question. Everybody always got jokes about how we talk. They say we got a certain slang to the way we say shit. So why do we say car instead of car? Why do we drop the R's off our words?
Everybody got their own way of talking. Everybody got their own little slang and accents to their talk. So we just drop R's and we say cars. This is why we gotta say R's, because it's car. It's like anything. Like, we don't talk like, oh, who are you? It's who are you? What you on? Like, we don't have to do that, because we us, and we'll beat y'all ass if y'all got anything to say about it.
Real shit.
Ain't nobody, if anybody else say something other than Charlie's, they not from the east side. Charlie's was the only candy store that, you know, you would go for. If you went to Pulaski, #1 middle school, every day before school, you seen fights, you seen, like, you know, everything. Get your first girlfriend over there, man, you know, do all that. Buy a little couple 50-cent bags of candies with cookies or something like that. You in the game right there, man. Charlie's. I think we need to focus on the kids on the east side more than anything. I feel like we need like more activities, more stuff that they could do. Like, I really want to like get like a youth group, and then just like take them different places, see different things, like broaden their horizons a little bit, like bring back some of like the brotherhood, like you actually like love this. Like, I can't speak on what the girls was like when I can, because even the girls was like super close, like tight knit type thing. But like dudes on the east side, we definitely was like one for all type stuff. If you from the east side, something going on, somebody from the east side gonna help you. And I feel like we lost that with us. Like, as we got older, we started losing all of that like tight knit community type stuff. So we need to get that back. Like, pride again on being from where we from, and pride like just on all those things. And we going somewhere to Six Flags, and you gonna know, yeah, we from the G, from the east side. All that. That's how we used to be. And I feel like if we start getting back to that, then I feel like it's just gonna continue like with they kids, and then it's just gonna be something. Because I know I'm gonna promote that with my kids, like the same thing. I'm still here. Yeah, DJ Denham, bye.
Eastside.